go to the next topic, which is science and technology. So what is the important topic in science and technology is, first is oncolytic virus therapy is changing cancer treatment. So oncolytic, whenever you see the term onco, means it is something related to cancer. So oncolytic virus therapy is changing the cancer treatment. Let's see what is this. Okay. So researchers in US has developed a novel strategy to improve a cancer therapy that can kill tumor cells while leaving the nearby healthy tissue intact. See, now the very big issue when it comes to cancer therapy, whether chemo or radiation, there is a high risk that healthy cells also get affected. That is a major issue now. Okay. And one more thing we all have to remember is, cancer is caused by various reasons and virus is also one of the important reasons. Now this oncolytic virus therapy treatment is good because this is having a specific target mechanism where they only affect the cancer tumor cells, not the healthy cells. Okay, so what they are doing, let's see, they are inserting immune stimulating genes and they are removing disease causing genes. So this will help in targeting the tumors. Fine. So let's see how does this work, and we can understand even better. Oncolytic viruses are form of immunotherapy that use virus to infect and destroy cancer cells. So what they are doing, they are using virus. Okay, there is a statement, fire kills fire. So these kind of statements are all there. Needles, thorn can be removed only using another needle. So this is the same type. So you are using a virus and you are infecting the cancer causing cell, and this virus will kill these cells. This is a targeted mechanism. There is currently one oncolytic virus therapy approved by FDA for the treatment of cancer, TVEC, imiligig, a modified herpes simplex virus that infects tumor cells and promotes their destruction. This has been approved for subset of patients with melanoma. Okay, so melanoma types of cancer only are approved by FDA for the treatment as of now. So oncolytic virus platforms under evaluation. What are all the virus in the clinical trials? Let's see. First is adenovirus, a family of common virus that cause a wide range of mild effects like sore throat, fatigue, cold-like symptoms are all caused by adenovirus. Herpes simplex viruses, it can cause formation of sores on or near the mouth, that is called as herpes simplex virus. Marburg virus, it is exclusively found in insects. Measles, we all know about measles, a highly contagious virus that infect respiratory tract and cause measles. So measles vaccinations are done during the first year of children. Okay, that is one important. Newcastle disease virus, it is primarily found in birds and cause mild conjunctivitis and flu-like symptoms in human beings. Picorna virus, family of virus that cause range of diseases in mammals and birds. Coxsackie virus is an example from this family that is clinically tested now. Next is reovirus, a family of virus that can affect gastrointestinal and respiratory tracts. Vaccinavirus, which is used to help vaccinate against and eliminate smallpox. Very important. The virus which is used to eliminate smallpox, it rarely causes illness in humans associated with rash covering the body. Okay, so that is called a Vaccinia virus. Vaccinia virus is a immunotherapy virus. Vesicular stomatitis virus, it belongs to the same family as Marburg virus, which also causes flu-like symptoms. The statement, the stomatitis itself says that it's something related to respiration. Okay, so this can be a question. They can ask which of the following virus are used under clinical trial for immunotherapy treatment. Okay, next is chimeric antigen receptor T cells. What is this? Let's see. Chimeric antigen receptor T cells. In 2019, when Immunil Therapeutics Limited, founded by Pulitzer winning author and US oncologist Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee and leading biotech entrepreneur Kiran Mazumdar Shah, planned to set up a breakthrough cell therapy facility. What is this cell therapy facility? Let's see. So what is this chimeric antigen receptor T cells? See, it cells, T cells, what are the T cells? T cells are one of the important immunity related cells in our body, white blood cells. So T cells have been genetically engineered to produce artificial T cell receptor for use of immunotherapy. Chimeric antigen receptors are receptor proteins that has been engineered to give T cells the new ability to target a specific protein. So specific protein is related to anything by a virus. Okay, so there is a particular issue, so that person has to be treated. So what we do, the T cell receptors are generated, and the receptor proteins are generated which will specifically target a protein. An 11-year-old has become the first patient to receive CAR T therapy that uses the own body cells to fight the cancer. That is what is called as immunotherapy. You use the own immune system to fight against some disease. It can be cancer or any types of disease. It's a personalized form of cancer treatment. So what they do, first they find out the reason for the cancer, and based on the protein related to the cancer, they design a chimeric antigen receptor T cell outside the body in the lab, and then they inject it into the particular human's body. So now this cell will give the ability of the same human body to fight against the cancer. That is some personalized form. For each person it varies. That is called as personalized form of cancer treatment. It involves removing immune cells and modifying them in the laboratory so they can recognize cancer cell, feeding some information, okay, giving some change. So it is a treatment that uses your body's own immune system to help fight. First patient has blood removed and white blood cells are separated out. I told you T cells are one of the white blood cells. First the patient's blood is removed and white blood cells are separated out, with the rest of blood returned to the patient. A harmless virus is used to insert genes into the T cells, a special type of immune cell. So this T cell only fights against cancer. These genes cause the T cell to add a hook onto their surface known as chimeric antigen receptor. So now what happened? These T cells have a hook. They go and get attached to the cancer cells, and they kill them eventually. Okay. So these CAR T cells are programmed to recognize and destroy the patient's cancer cells, multiplied in huge numbers and then infused back into the patient. Okay. Yes. Next is the search for dark matter. What is the search for dark matter? Many physicists strongly believe that the entire visible part of universe is just 5% and the remaining 95% is just made of dark energy and dark matter. Do you understand? This is the physicist. Many scientists believe that 95% of this whole universe is just dark matter. Whatever we see is just 5%. Okay. What is dark matter and why is it so elusive? Why is it very important? See, all interaction in the universe are the result of four fundamental forces: strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and then we talk about electromagnetic force and gravitation. We know that. Okay, we know about strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetic force and gravitation. Apart from this, they also say that there is something called as dark matter, which is made up of particles that do not have any charge. Okay, which means they do not interact through electromagnetic interaction but through some other process. So this is called as dark because they do not emit light. It is not some other meaning. Dark is because they do not emit light. It's an electromagnetic phenomena. Because they don't have a charge, they do not emit light. Light is nothing but an electromagnetic wave. Okay, that is why they are not having any electric charge and they do not emit light. And matter because they possess mass like normal matter and hence interact through gravity. It is believed that they are interacting through gravity. Gravitational forces, besides not being fully integrated and understood by particle physicists, is extremely weak. It's one of the weak force. Gravitational force is a weak force. So what are the evidences from other distance scales? The universe can be observed at various levels. So what are the levels we observe? At electron levels, at nuclei levels, atom levels, or galaxies, galaxy clusters, even large distances, where the entire universe can be mapped and studied. See what happens, just imagine there is a small electron and then you have a nucleus and then that becomes an atom. Atoms combine to form molecules. Molecules combine to form particles. Particles combine to form some element, some product. Many products combine to form galaxies. Many galaxies combine to form clusters. Just imagine how it is going. We can read universe at any level. That is what they are mentioning. Cosmologists, people who study the physics of universe, typically work in the last mentioned three scales. These three galaxies, galaxy clusters, and then the entire universe. These three scales are what the cosmologists work. Okay, and particle physicists study this smaller things. That is their thing. So this can be a question. Particle physicists study which are the following. Cosmologists, what is cosmologist? Can be a question. The second evidence came from observation of so-called bullet cluster of galaxies. So bullet cluster is formed through merging of two galaxy cluster. That is what you call it as bullet cluster. Physicists found there the calculation, see they are using a calculation only with all these kind of forces, but the result is not fully explained because they are missing something. That missing something is what they are calling it as dark matter. So therefore something should be there which is called as dark matter, which has to be soon discussed about and discovered about. Okay, so that is what they are mentioning. James Webb Space Telescope. James Webb Space Telescope, what is that? Let's see. So NASA on Tuesday unveiled the images from the James Webb Space Telescope, the largest and most powerful orbital observatory. Orbital observatory is telescope which is launched to the space, and from there we get the data and pictures. That is what you call it as orbital observatory, and it is the largest and most powerful. So this can be a question. Which is the largest and most powerful orbital observatory is James Webb Space Telescope. So this is a space telescope jointly developed by NASA, European Agency and Canadian Space Agency. This can be a question. Which are the three countries? Which are the three form this James Webb Space Telescope is NASA, European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency. It is planned to succeed Hubble Space Telescope as NASA's flagship astrophysics mission. It will conduct a broad range of investigation in the field of astronomy and cosmology. This will be a question. Which are the following? Usually in science and technology, application based questions are always asked. What they do is they observe most distant events, objects in the universe such as the formation of first galaxies, detailed atmospheric characterization of potentially habitable exoplanets. All these things they just check. Special features of JWST is powerful space telescope like JWST or Hubble Space Telescope, often called time machines, because they can view faraway objects. See, we know very well light travels faster. So while using the telescope, you can view faraway objects. So we call it as a time machine. Essentially, what telescope see are the images of stars or galaxy, which are millions of years ago from now. Okay, they are seeing the future. The more distant the planet or star, the further back in time are the telescopes able to see. It is also positioned much deeper into the space, about 1,000,000 miles from the Earth, which is the spot known as L2. L2 is nothing but million miles from the Earth. It is one of the 5 points known as, this is very important. The 5 points are called as Lagrange's points. That is why you call it as L2. This is one of the 5 points, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. In that, L2 is where the JWST is placed. So any revolving two-body system like Earth and Sun, where the gravitational forces of the two bodies cancel each other, is called as Lagrange's point. Why is, at this point only if you are spacing any of the objects, they do not fall into any other body. For example, let's say we discussed about this already in the previous year. Let's take this is Earth and you have Moon revolving around the earth. So in some place, this, let's say this is a path. So when any object is placed closer to the earth's gravitational pull will pull them into it. So okay, for escaping the earth, what if you are placing it very close to moon? It will fall onto the moon. Instead, there are 5 points around the earth which is called as Lagrange's point, where the earth's gravitational force and moon's gravitational force cancel each other, so the object you place can remain in the space itself. This will be a question, very important. What is Lagrange's point? How many points are there? These also can be a question. So objects placed at this position are relatively stable and require minimum external energy to keep them. L2 is a position directly behind the earth in the line joining the sun and earth. This is very important. So it would be shielded by the sun, from the sun by the earth, as it goes around the sun in sync with the earth. So you also have to consider one more thing. There is a very big giant who have a very high gravitational force, that is sun. So this object should not fall in sun also. So L2 is a place where this is the earth and you have, so this is earth, you have sun here. So it is placed somewhere here. So even when it is revolving around the sun, this will not come in contact with the sun. So this, anything placed here will be shielded by the earth from the sun, preventing it to fall into the sun. Okay. Next, how is it different from other telescope? Let's see that. How is it different from other telescope? So it is much more powerful and has the ability to look in the infrared spectrum, which will allow it to peer through much deeper into the universe and see through obstruction such as gas clouds. So infrared spectrum will help us even to see in dark. That is one thing. And peer and then see through clouds. That is one important thing. Electromagnetic waves travel for long distance. They lose energy, resulting in an increase in their wavelength. So an ultraviolet wave, for example, can slowly move to the visible light spectrum. An infrared spectrum further weakens to microwaves or radio waves. That is what happens when they are traveling through a long distance. Fine. That is very important when it comes to telescope. They work in infrared spectrum. Hubble was designed to look mainly into the ultraviolet and visible light regions of electromagnetic spectrum. GWST is primarily an infrared telescope. This is very important point, and it is the first of its kind. Very important. Okay, so this is what is about JWST, which is nothing but James Webb Space Telescope. Next, Marburg virus disease. What is this Marburg virus disease? Very important. So Ghana has reported its first ever suspected case of Marburg virus disease, and it is formally known as Marburg hemorrhagic fever. Hemorrhagic, hem means something related to blood. Let's see what happens. So disease, highly virulent disease that causes hemorrhagic fever with a fatality ratio of up to 88%, which is very high. So when 100 people get affected, minimum of 88 people die. That is called as 88% of death rate, fatality ratio. The same family as virus that cause Ebola virus disease. Two large outbreaks occurred simultaneously in Marburg. That is why it is called as Marburg virus disease. And Frankfurt in Germany, it took, and Belgrade, Serbia in 1967, which led to the initial recognition of disease. Okay, how it took place is because of laboratory. Outbreak was associated with laboratory work using African green monkeys imported from Uganda. That is how it the outbreak took place in Germany and Serbia. Okay, so how does the transmission take place? This virus spread to people through fruit bats. Okay, it's spread through fruit bats. People to people transmission occurs if uninfected person come to direct contact with bodily fluids of infected person or surfaces. Okay, it can be through any bodily fluids, saliva or blood or anything. So symptoms: headache, vomiting blood. That is why it is called as hemorrhagic fever. Muscle pains, bleeding through various orifices. that also take place. Symptoms become increasingly severe and can include jaundice, inflammation of pancreas, severe weight loss, liver failure, massive hemorrhaging and multi-organ dysfunction. Very, very dangerous. So what is diagnosis? Since many of the symptoms are similar those of malaria and typhoid fever, sometimes diagnosis is difficult unless and until we do a polymerase chain reaction and enzyme linked immunosorbent assay ELISA test. This only can confirm if it is a Marburg virus. Okay. So what is the treatment is? There is no specific treatment or approved vaccine for Marburg hemorrhagic fever. So supportive hospital therapy has to be taking place. See, most of the cases, hospital therapy, that is, they just keep the patient alive on a day-to-day basis and wait for the immune system to fight. They only give support to immune system. That is what they can do in here also. Supportive hospital therapy includes the balancing the patient's fluid, electrolytes, maintaining oxygen status, blood pressure, replacing lost blood and clotting factors, and treatment for any complicating infections. Do you understand what they are doing? They are just supporting the body's immune system. They are just keeping the patient alive on a day-to-day basis and wait for the immune system to fight against the disease. Okay? Yes. So this is all about the current affairs related to the July's second week of Geography, Environment and Science and Technology. We will see polity and other topics in the upcoming videos. Thank you so much. So if any doubt, you can place it in the comment and I will be very happy to clarify it. And one more thing, you can get all these materials in the SSM Sharda Education's website. Thank you so much.